Hello, friends. Glad to be back with you. Got some exciting questions to ask for today. And I just want to thank everyone who is watching this. There's not many of you right now. This is all just starting up and brand new. So if you have any ideas for me, please make comments, share this with other people. I'd love to see how we can expand this and share questions with each other, especially what works well with your teenagers. I have mine that I experiment on, and I'm sure you have yours that you experiment on. So if we can go back and forth with that, I'd love to hear your stories. And today we have some really cool questions. I had really cool conversations with my teenagers about this because generally the creation story is a little bit of a yawner when we talk about it with our youth and just kind of roll through, the creation story as it is, as it's said, and then kind of make justifications or ideas and thoughts about what the heck it's talking about. But I want to make this a little bit different how I did this, which is what are all the creation stories in the world? And why does every civilization in the world have a creation story? And I guarantee you it was not a science lesson. The purpose of creation stories were not to teach how it was created. The purpose was to express why it was created. We kind of have to understand ancient civilizations, they didn't speak like we do. We speak very Platonistic, Aristotle. We say things literally is how we like to talk in today's world. But back then, no, it wasn't. They took things around them and they turned them into stories to describe and explain spiritual principles. And that's what these stories were and nothing more. And when you look at it, and as we go into some of the questions and we examine some of the other myth stories of the creation, it's going to become more clear. So one thing, and as a little bit different with this, I'm going to have a link that goes to a Google Doc, and you'll be able to download all this. So you'll be able to print it, and you can walk it through with your youth, and it'll have all the stories and questions too. So I'm going to kind of walk through it kind of quick. We have our creation story. In the beginning, God created heavens and the earth. And the earth was formless and empty, and darkness was over the surface. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So God spoke into existence, and it existed. And we can go over a lot of that. But towards the end of the creation, there's so much into that. But we're going to stay high level for this specific question. When God created humans, he said, "Let us make mankind in our image after our likeness." So humans then are given responsibilities to rule, to care, to cultivate. And God looks at it and he calls it good. Here's a very interesting story of the creation, right? So there's no battle, there's no rival gods, there's no accident. Creation unfolds like a carefully composed piece of music. I love that. All right, so now let's look at the Babylonian story of creation. In the beginning, only water existed. Apsu, the fresh water, and Tiamat, the salt water. Their offspring, the gods, are loud and disruptive, and Apsu plans to kill them. Eventually, the storm god Marduk rises, slays Tiamat in violent combat, and splits her corpse, and forms the heavens and the earth. Later, humans are created from the blood of the defeated god, specifically to do the labor the gods don't want to do anymore. Okay? Now think about this from a spiritual standpoint, right? What is the purpose of your life as a human here on the world? In this worldview, the universe is born from violence, power determines reality, and humans exist to serve divine convenience. Okay. All right. The Mayans, right? Gods decide to create the beginning. Who will remember and worship them? First attempt, humans are made out of mud, too weak. Then humans are made out of wood, functional but soulless and ungrateful. So those are destroyed. Finally, gods are made from maize, and they succeed. But the gods grow concerned. Humans seem to see too clearly, know too much, so their vision is limited. Okay, so in this creation story, humanity is valuable, but only to a point. Too much knowledge is dangerous. Humans exist for the gods, not with them. Okay, so again, you're starting to see how these stories and why they may have been twisted and written the way they were, right? In the Norse tradition, ice and fire collide in a void. A giant is formed. Gods kill him and fashion the world from his body. Humans are made from trees, and the future is already set. The gods will die, the world will burn, and everything will start again. In this story, creation is temporary. Even the gods are doomed. Courage matters, but hope is limited. Okay? The Chinese, the universe begins as a cosmic egg. Pangu emerges and separates sky and earth, growing for thousands of years to keep them apart. When he dies, his body becomes the features of the world. Humans emerge later. So in this, order exists, but it requires constant maintenance. Balance, not relationship, is the goal. You can kind of understand that from our Eastern philosophies. And then, so here we kind of have creation stories all over the world. But man, what about these themes and what are they teaching? And maybe as the teenagers kind of reflect, if you were born in one of these different societies that had this simple creation story, again, not telling really how, not the science of how things are done, but telling a story of what your purpose in life is, right? So is your relation with God competitive, distant, easily threatened? Or do the gods just need human labor, worship? Are we servants? Are we accidents? Are we tools? Or are we participants in a doomed system, right? So these are some of the things that kind of get them to really start thinking about, like, they're very blessed to be born in a Christian-dominated society where this very simple creation story, which people don't even really talk about, shapes our reality and how we see things, right? Our worldview and our relationship with God. So all these are really important things to kind of think about, and again, just talk about it in a much different light and kind of open their eyes. And I think even for us as adults, we don't really contemplate what our worldview and how it means and why we do the things we do. But I think we have a very blessed philosophy in that we are co-creators with God, and we are very purposefully created here, and we do have a purpose and an existence, an eternal existence. So that's a great blessing, and I look forward to hearing how your conversations go with your teenagers, and we'll talk soon.